This episode of the Demonic Compendium contains spoilers for the following games. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to a cattle-sized new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. I'm sure we've all had cases where you're out roaming at night and you hear a dog barking off in the distance. Well, if you're ever roaming the streets of Scotland, you may want to keep a careful tally of those barks. After you hear a second one, you'll want to be safe and hiding and playing some D2 on your phone, and I'll explain why, because today, we're talking about Kushi. Quick aside before I get started, I'm not the only one who still looks at this name and has my brain call it Sith, even though I know that's totally wrong, am I? Cool, just checking. The Kushi is a supernatural giant hound from Scottish mythology that is often depicted as a harbinger of death. Similar to enormous hounds from other European countries, such as the Cún Annwn from Welsh lore, or the more famous black dogs from England, popularized in classic literary works from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes adventure The Hound of the Baskervilles, to the beloved Harry Potter series from J.K. Rowling. In many of these cases, seeing or hearing the bark of these dogs is a bad omen, and in some way or another usually leads to someone's death. Unlike many of these other ghostly hounds, the Kushi isn't generally seen as just a symbol of death, and is instead strongly connected to fairies in Scottish folklore. A fact that is obvious when you realize that Kushi literally translates from the Scottish Gaelic as dog fairy. The Kushi, pluralized as Coinshi, often act as mounts for the fairies, and if you ever do stumble upon one of these beasts, it's probably out and about to do specific tasks for them, which I'll get to very shortly. Legends go that when the Kushi starts hunting, it will let out 3 loud barks. These barks are so loud that they can be heard for miles, even across seas and mountains. Whenever a man hears the first bark, he should immediately find shelter in a safe location. By the second bark, he should continue staying in that safe location. I mean, really, the second bark just seems like an act of good faith on the dog's part. And if a man is not in proper shelter by the time he hears the third bark, he will become so overtaken by panic, fear, and terror that he will die. It's also very, very important that as soon as a man hears the first bark, before seeking safety for himself, he hides away the nursing mother of his child, or whatever other lactating women may be in his life, because like I said, the Kushi is out hunting to aid the fairies. And while this supernatural hound can bring death, it's not so much looking for blood, but milk, as the aim of the Kushi's task is to bring milk-producing women back to the fairy realm to feed the fairies. Kushi's Compendium entry from Persona 4 refers to them as a dog fairy in Scottish folklore. Its main duties are to transport fairies and be a watchdog. It can transfix a target it's chasing by barking 3 times. Which I have to say seems like one of the most toned-down, touched-up descriptions of what these things are actually all about that I've ever seen. Design-wise, Kushi has stuck primarily to one design, but its original depiction from the first Shin Megami Tensei handled it a bit differently. While it introduced the elements that we'd come to associate with the demon's design, like enormous ears that act as wings and non-traditional fur coloration, the first design was a yellow hound with furry jowls, giving it the appearance of the Scottish Terrier breed, or other terriers from the region like the Dandy Dinmont Terrier or the Kern Terrier. Its bright yellow coloration possibly stems from Scottish flowers, particularly gorse, a yellow flower known for overtaking the Scottish hillsides. While not a consistent design in the series, I found it interesting that Kushi's designs in the Last Bible series, seen here in Last Bible 2 and Last Bible 3 respectively, are the only instances where the dog's design specifically addresses its role as a mount. In the Devil Children series, Kushi is depicted more as a dog, chicken, griffin type thing because I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Sorry, I felt it was worth mentioning. But its main design, originating in Shin Megami Tensei 2, is the one most people are familiar with. And while it may just look like a large green dog with wing ears, there's more to the design than first glances may suggest. The green coloration is actually a proper part of the folklore. While most of these ghastly hounds from European nations describe their beasts as dark black or other foreboding colors, the Kushi is nearly always described to be green, as it's a color often associated with the realm of the fairies. You may also notice that the dog's muzzle is longer with less drooping jowls. The Kushi's new form in Mega 10 suggests a shift to a different breed of dog from Scotland, with the new design taking much more inspiration from the Scottish Deerhound, a large, shaggy, long-tailed breed of hunting dog from the region. As far as game history goes, Kushi has not left the realm of the fairies and come out to play too often, but has still managed to make a couple of noteworthy appearances in the franchise. Kushi first appeared in the Persona series as an enemy demon in the first game, where in Revelations Persona it was known as Kairi? Kairi? Kar? Look, I did say there wasn't a lot here, but the Hound made its debut as an actual Persona in Persona 4 as a member of the Sun Arcana, and reappeared in Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth, where it not only has the innate skill Safety Prayer, a passive ability that allows for safer gathering from P-spots, but will also produce the skill card of the same name, possibly alluding to the Kushi's role as a watchdog. Kushi's biggest role in the franchise was in Digital Devil Saga 2, where a trio of avatar tuners known as the Tribvana are fought fairly early in the game. One of the members, a crazy man known as Tribvana Air, turns into Kushi, where in both boss battles it will primarily use buff and debuff skills, making it a good target to take out first in both fights. Later in the game, one member of the Tribvana, the one known as Earth, will kill and devour the other two in an attempt to gain greater power, so... Kushi gets eaten, which is a little funny when you remember the Kushi's mission is to help feed people. Kinda. And lastly, as you may all be aware, today marks the official English release of Shin Megami Tensei Liberation D2, and I put careful consideration into the demons I talk about for these episodes. Kushi does make something of an impression in the new mobile title by being one of the initial demons found in the protagonist's party, meaning yes, this happy hound will be one of the first faces you see. I'm thrilled the game is out, and I'm looking forward to getting footage of many more demons in this game in the future. And so there you have it, Kushi, the shaggy Scottish smellhound that scares, stalks, and seeks succulent sweater meats. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.